What's going on?
It's my own home.
I'm trying to clean up. How are you?
Good.
I appreciate it. I was trying to lay some edges real quick. I was sweating driving down here
Yo,
from Connecticut.
it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's really different. So I park down on between, I sound like a New Yorker, right? I park between 10th and 11th on 38th, but between 10th and 11th.
Parking lot.
It's all day parking for $50, like plus the tax and everything. All day.
I couldn't find no parking lots that was taking cars. I parked on the street. I parked on commercial.
Oh, really?
I paid.
Let me clean some of this up.
If they give me a ticket.
It's okay, we're gonna fight it.
So, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay, so let me.
Chronological order.
Yes.
All right.
So we already had the chops about it, so I feel like I don't have to break down like the film, the energy, like each scene, right? So we go from the Far East, right? Like Far East meets Wu-Tang Clan, then we go to the jungles of Africa, Afrobeat. Then we come back, and it's like ancient Egyptian meets drumline HBCU homecoming, and then we end it with some like supersonic. That's what we're finishing. That's what that is right there. Supersonic, high frequency.
How many tracks you got on that?
4.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, yeah, I want to hear this.
All right, and they're
They're
only a minute each.
All right,
So I'm gonna build out. I'll ask you based on what you choose if you want 8 measures, 8 bars, or if you want 16 measures, 16 bars. All right, and then I'm gonna play you the thing that I've been working on that's for you.
all right.
Between us, but let's turn the camera off. That one up. And each 1 minute, I put more hours in a 1 minute than most people put in their whole project. Maybe 20, 30 sessions in 1 minute. Because back then, right, I'm classically trained, so I can only do the composition part back then. I worked with some producers to co-produce just to get the sounds out my mind.
Yeah,
because I used to play
problem.
drums on my clarinet hard case. Like that's how I got my snare, my drum, and my bass and everything. I just didn't know where in the application. But I'm a techie, so what I would do is thousands of dollars later.
That's where I'm not at.
Thousands of dollars later. Oh yeah, put that there, put that there. No, I wanted to hit like this. Boom, 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 boom. Click. Oh, okay, click that. Okay, boom, sub-menu. Okay, that dial. Okay, this. And I have photographic memory, so I'm a quick study. So I actually went to school. It's like I was in school, like training. I'm like, Basically, I went to audio engineering school through my sessions because I'm observant and I do everything with intention. I don't do anything for no reason. So that's how I learned. I observed, I watched, I learned, went home, tried it myself, messed it up, tried it again, figured it out, boom, 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 and like within like 3-4 months, I could fully produce now.
Yeah, that's fire.
There we go. All right, you ready for the last one? All right.
Third one.
I mean the third one. We still finishing the last one. All right, let's go. I have a feeling you're gonna want this one.
Sound is.
Oh yeah.
Like you could be nice, but you don't know what your sound is or what your direction is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you fully are aware of like where you want your music to go and how you want it to sound. That's like key. That, like I said, that's rare because people don't know that they're all over the place. This is all different, but it's not all over the place.
It's not. Essentially is. Right, they asked me this question when I was at Essence. One of the guys who interviewed me, he was from a platform called R&B, right? And he had to give me like trivia questions, like, yo, if I say the word love, what R&B song do you think that is? So I'm like, Music Soul Child Love, you know, this, that, and he was like, culture. My mind literally went blank because I was thinking of others, and I said, come on, God, is you the one? I said, Anna Nyakana, Niyah Zuri, the world of Niyah Zuri, because that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm taking culture.
You got that on camera, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you need that. You need that little clip. Like,
of course. You got to watch the reel I just dropped this morning. I did it at 3 in the morning, and then IG tried to block me because the frequency too high, and then they deleted it, and then they reposted it with no sound, and then I had to delete it again. But little did they know I saved my stuff, so I put that thing right up on there, 8 o'clock in the morning, put that God did on it. I was waiting to put that God did on it. And yeah, here we are now. So the whole understanding is I'm bringing culture back to the U.S. There is no culture here. Like that's what I grew up in. And really, if it wasn't for my culture, like knowing where I'm from, having my family, my tribal language, my tribal tongue, like Banyan Koli stand up, like I'm really that one. I would have gotten lost like all the other girls. I would have been pregnant at 12. My brother's locked up. He was like 16. My other brother getting bullied, just like depressed, getting put into like such different situations, like having to visit my other brother in rehab. Like there was so much happening because of circumstance. Yeah, it was like God was really protecting me my whole life. Like I had this covering. Yes, I was bullied like crazy because I was different. Yet what I didn't understand was that they were bullying me because I knew myself, not because I was pretty. It wasn't because of like what I wore, because I didn't have no money for Abercrombie or none of these things. Like I was poor. I was broke. Our family, though, we have very humble beginnings because we came to the U.S. and they told my parents they couldn't use their degrees here. My dad's an engineer. My mother's a biologist. And they're like, we hate the Soviet Union. Yeah, because they went to school in Russia and Soviet Union. So America's like, nah, like you can't. You have to go back to school. My parents like, what do you mean? We're here with our children. We have 2 suitcases for a family of 5. We spent all our money to come to America for the American dream, but it was really an American nightmare.
They couldn't do the.
No, my father became a butcher, and my mother, who's like a seamstress by trade, just did that, like odd jobs. She would be like mopping floors at hotels and cleaning floors and toilets and doing whatever they had to do.
You know, it's crazy though. I mean, that's crazy. Engineer work, and then they tell you can't.
Biologist. Parents are top of their class.
Yeah.
And believe me, the like Soviet Union, the Russian education, like collegiate level is much more difficult than the American.
Yeah.
My parents graduated top of their class, international students. Guess how my parents met? My dad got a scholarship from Uganda. He went to Moldova and met my mom. He was in Russia and then Moldova because it was all under communism at that time. So all these countries didn't have their independence. Ukraine, Moldova, Romania, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, right? So it's a different world. So then I came here and it was like a nightmare. We thought we were going to have a better life and it was not the case. And then it took us a while. We finally got approved for Section 8 and I felt like a Jefferson. So I was like, moving on up. Yeah, it was the projects, but at least we had like, we had a building, you know, like it was kind of like 2 floors. I was like, oh, this is nice. Like I didn't care about the gunshots. I didn't care about the dude with the needle in his arm on the corner. I didn't care about the dope boys. I didn't care about like any of the situations. People were breaking into our cars.
CT, right?
Yeah. In Stanford, before it was gentrified, we had like 6, 7 major projects.
Yeah.
And the mayor at the time, I'm going to say his name, he knocked down every single one by one. He was the mayor for like 15 years. How you do that? That's usually corruption.
Yeah.
Anyway, he knocked them down one by one. Not to better the community, to gentrify, and he forced the culture now out of Stanford.
Yeah, out of them, yeah.
So like there's like no one there anymore. It's all gentrified. It's like a bunch of transplants. Some people are like, oh, you grew up in Stanford? I say, no, I grew up in Stanford, Con Ave.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that? Connecticut Avenue? I'm like, nah. Yeah, it's different. Like it's a whole different, like it doesn't even exist anymore. Like they didn't even just paint it. They bulldozed it.
Yeah, knocked it
it's
all over.
gone.
I seen you did one reel where you was driving through it and you was just like, yeah, this ain't
I was telling my story. Oh yeah, you caught that?
Yeah, I watched it. So
yeah, that's why I make original.
Like, you was like, yeah, this ain't it ain't what it ain't it.
Wow, you watched that?
Yeah, I watched that.
Oh, yo, that's much love.
I do my research. Trust me.
Yeah, I create everything. So like, I directed that, produced that. That was to celebrate Niyah Zuri 5 years. I went and I did a give back to my old block, and I gave away 100 books. But the bottom half of the hill, like you said, is not there anymore. So I stuck to the upper half, and I like rolled up on kids playing soccer. I went door to door like Santa Claus. Like I was just doing everything. I was in these streets,
that's fine,
leaving them behind the thing. I'm like, nope, this ain't the bill collector. This is Niyah Zuri. Like there's some empowerment for you, y'all. Like I got so many emails and calls and like DMs throughout the year from that too. They're like, we found your book on our doorstep. Thank you, you know, or where did this come from? Or we just found this. It was on like next to the telephone pole. I'm like, yeah, I left it there.
That's dope.
Thank you. Let me find out you do your research.
That's good marketing.
You know what? A lot of people say that, but it's funny because I don't strategize. Like I have a business degree, right? I'm that one, top of my class, business management. So with that said, I never do like marketing schemes. People are like, oh, that's a good play, Anna. That's a good. I'm like, nah. I'm literally moved by spirit to do the things that I do.
I was gonna say that too. Like a lot of people
and
do it and they follow a template.
Yeah.
Instead of following a template, sometimes it's the organic thinking outside the box or just organic, genuine stuff will prosper more than somebody knowing it's a TikTok or knowing it's like a manufactured move.
Like the fact that you went back and you watched that video that I made, and that was just me. I didn't have like cameras and all this. That was just me and my iPhone, like telling my story and letting people know like this is why I do what I do. This is where I'm from. And then after doing research, because I'm a lifelong student, so I'm always looking for knowledge. Come to find out, the block that they bulldozed where I grew up, that's the first project in the entire city of Stanford. Yeah, and then it got different. Yeah, like I was like, oh, now I understand the root of it. Like there were generations upon generations of people in this system. I'm like, they've been doing this since 18-something? These people are still here, their grandparents and great-grandparents? Come on now.
It's a cycle.
So, it is a cycle, but we get to break that loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go. All right. So right now you're feeling track 3, right? Yeah, yo, I hear you on that. I hear
good.
you. I hear Lupe on it. I hear like, yo, I hear who I hear on it.
Easy.
Easy, right? You think you want 8 or 16? You said you don't know.
I say 8, but I still, when you bridge out to 16, but just.
I want Marvin Gaye. You know, Marvin Gaye used to do all his harmonies, but he would be like 16 harmonies. When you look at everything I produce, people usually have like a beat that they make that's simple, or they sample something, and they have like a vocal track. Maybe like we may have like 1 or 2, 3.
4, 5 tracks.
Yeah, I got about 20.
But that's with you also making a beat, or that's just your vocals?
No, that's the full production.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, I got like 20
You got all
tracks.
your instruments. You got all.
I got all my instruments, all my everything, all my beat. I like make every
What's crazy?
hi-hat, everything. I'm about to buy a drum
What's
kit.
crazy is you say it's 20 for a minute song, so people are like, yo, but
That's what, but now you hear the quality, right? So imagine if people took more time to do the quality. Now, I want to play the 4th. However, we're recreating the beat, transmutation, about transformation, breaking down, breaking through, and going through. This song is 5. This is the longest song at like 2.5 minutes. Yeah, this is the longest one because it's playing at the end credits. So after the film is cut,
it's like
it's like
credits is coming. But I like that. I like this vibe.
it's got a lot of breathing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You ready, Richard? Oh, sorry, that's other stuff. He's like, what was that? Hold on. I've been taking them to church. Friday night service. You can tell Kanye inspires me a lot, right? Bring you to church real quick. So I take my loops and then I'll build out my whole beat from here.
I need this. I need this one.
I got you. He's on the return. He's on the return. Right? I'm talking my talk on here though. You see me. You see me. You see me. You see me. You see me now. Yeah. You see me. You adjusted crown. You see me now. Adjusted my crown. Thought I was down, no, I broke through to transform, elevate, right? Higher and higher and higher, my fire is nigher. When higher, go higher and higher. Woo! Elevating, elevating, yeah. I'm talking on this. I'm walking on this one.
You should adjust the crown, my
Adjust my crown.
Sorry.
You see me now. Adjusted my crown. Thought I was down, no, I broke through to transform, elevating myself higher and higher and higher. Ooh, oh, oh, higher and higher and higher. Ooh, oh, oh, higher and higher and higher. Ooh, oh, oh, higher and higher. My fire is Niyah Zuri.
Adjust the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a go. This is
Yeah.
the one. This is the one. She can't change it now. This is the one, alright? Nah, that's the one.
Let's go. I appreciate you. You got me singing. Yeah. Come on, closer, Richard.
Yeah.
He in the spirit. He on that high 425 hertz frequency. Let's go.
She did good. She did good with this one. She did good. Yeah.
Yo, I composed that original piece when I was 15 years old. 15 years old. Just to put it as the first track on my acoustic album. Just to walk away from all of that. No 10,000 hours. I had like 20, 30,000 hours. I had no distractions. I was a focused child. I was getting a record deal. I was going to have my dreams come true. Because music was the first language I spoke.
it's like, for me, I always feel like music, you have to be born with it. My grandmother, rest in peace, my grandmother used to always tell my mother, she used to be like, he's gonna be a singer, like, you know, like she didn't know what kind, or she'd say like a Spanish singer, you know, back, but she always used to be like, and then like, he's gonna be a singer.
I've been singing since I was 3 years old in Germany. My mom used to have me on the corner, like a dope boy, but I was like a dope boy for God. I was just singing. I was on the corner just singing for people. And when I came to the U.S., I used to get money like that too. I used to sing on the corner for 75 cents. I used to sing SWV, TLC, Mariah Carey. Yeah, I used to get my money. And like give it to my brothers and my friends. We have 75 cents for like a Luigi Icy because my parents didn't have any money. Like we didn't have no allowance. Like these kids are spoiled, yo. Allowance and they got cell phones and Cash App and all this and credit cards with the Cash App. I'm like, what? I had to work for my 75 cents. I used to sing, but people used to always tip me. They used to tip me, like they would tip me like $5, $10, $20. So shout out to everybody who used to tip me on the corner in Stanford when I was young, singing my heart out so I could get a Luigi Icy.
See, but that put the community behind you.
Yeah, it did actually.
Right? Because people realize that, like, yo, since young.
Everybody knew, like I was the girl in high school. They're like, yo, Anna's gonna, like if there's ever somebody who's gonna like make it in our city or in our state, it's gonna be
You was
Anna.
voted most likely to succeed?
I was voted most like, to succeed and like to become like a star.
Me too. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, track 4. Get ready.